Dear students, first of all I welcome you all to my video class. So now, nowadays video classes or the alternate classes for the classroom classes, alternate to the classroom teaching nowadays. To make use of this the lockdown period effectively, I am going to conduct some video classes on chemistry subject. And of course I start with organic chemistry, of course, especially second PUC organic chemistry. Before discussing that the topics of second PUC organic chemistry, I want to refresh your mind with basics of the organic chemistry. That is very essential, because without understanding basics, it's very difficult for you to understand second PU organic chemistry. Because of that, I'm going to refresh your mind with the basics of the organic chemistry. You already studied that in first PUC, especially under basic principles and techniques of organic chemistry, the chapter in first PUC, the first chapter in first PU organic chemistry. I'm going to refresh that particular aspects, refresh your mind with those important aspects which you need to know for understanding second PUC organic chemistry. So let me begin with the definition of organic chemistry. That is, first of all, we'll see definition of organic chemistry. We'll start with the definition of organic chemistry. Many definitions are available. The most useful and modern definition of organic chemistry is the branch of chemistry that deals with the study of hydrocarbons and their derivatives. The branch of chemistry that deals with the study of hydrocarbons and their derivatives. Hydrocarbons and their derivatives. I just say that hydrocarbons are the parents, derivatives are the daughters. And hydrocarbons and the derivatives of hydrocarbons will constitute the class of chemical substances called organic compounds. And the study of those organic compounds will be under the branch of chemistry called organic chemistry there. So what's the meaning of that hydrocarbons and their derivatives? As far as hydrocarbons are concerned, we have varieties of hydrocarbons, like this is CH4, one of the examples for the hydrocarbon, that is alkane. Like this, we have CH3, that is ethane, that is another hydrocarbon. Apart from that, we have CH2, double bond CH2, this is one more hydrocarbon. Apart from that, we have benzene ring, that is one more hydrocarbon, this is hydrocarbon. All these are hydrocarbons because they are made up of only carbon and hydrogen. And these hydrocarbons will constitute organic compounds. And derivatives of hydrocarbons means if one or more hydrogen atoms of these hydrocarbons are replaced by certain groups, we call them as functional groups. If I replace one or more hydrogen atoms of hydrocarbons by certain functional groups, you are going to get the derivatives of hydrocarbons. I call them as daughters of hydrocarbons. For example, in the case of methane, we have, yes, it is hydrogen now. I am going to replace this hydrogen with one group, that is Cl. Then you are going to get its derivative, that is CH3 single bond Cl. This is the derivative of CH4. I got this from methane. I call it as a daughter and it's a parent. And here similarly, in this case, in ethane, if I replace one hydrogen atom of ethane by this OH group, another group, and that is OH group, then you are going to get CH3, CH2, OH. CH3, CH2, OH. So this is the derivative of this particular compound. In the same manner, if I replace this one hydrogen atom of this particular compound by a certain group called CN, for example, then you are going to get CH2 double bond CH, and it is CN there. I replaced one hydrogen atom by CN group. I got the derivative of this compound. In the same manner, if one hydrogen atom of benzene is replaced by, say for example, NH2 group, then I am going to get its corresponding derivative, and that is what we call it as aniline. We call it as aniline. Look at this. These are all hydrocarbons, and these are all derivatives of hydrocarbons. All these compounds will constitute the class of chemical substances called organic compounds. All these compounds are together called organic compounds, and that is what we call it as the definition of organic compounds, and that branch of chemistry that deals with the study of hydrocarbons and their derivatives, and that is called as organic chemistry then. And of course, as far as organic compounds are concerned, generally these organic compounds are made up of carbon chains, carbon chains. We have carbon chains of different length, different shapes, because many number of carbon atoms can be linked. Many number of carbon atoms can be linked through covalent bonds in order to get carbon chains of, yes, it is different shape and of course different shape and size, of course. Look at this. And as far as carbon chains are concerned, carbon chains are characterized by different types of carbon atoms. And I want to highlight on this particular aspect because this is very essential. Different types of carbon atoms we have. This particular aspect will be coming under carbon chains. Different types of carbon atoms will be observed in given carbon chain. For example, let me consider one carbon chain like CH3, CH, and this is CH3, and this is CH2. Look at this. This is CH3, this is CH3, and it is CH3. This is one of the carbon chains. Varieties of carbon atoms we have here. Of course, all carbon atoms are identical, and of course, but in the chain, their behaviors will be different. That's why we have different types of carbon atoms. Different types of carbon atoms, right? Look at this. As far as this carbon atom is concerned, look at this first carbon atom. Look at this carbon atom. This carbon atom is directly attached to only one carbon atom. This carbon atom is directly attached to one carbon atom. That's why it is called as primary carbon. You studied this in first PUC. Look at this carbon atom. This carbon atom is directly attached to the, look at this, 1, 2 and 3. 3 carbon atoms. That's why it is called as tertiary carbon atom. Look at this carbon atom, directly attached to the 2 other carbon atoms. That's why it is called as secondary carbon atom. This carbon atom is directly attached to the 4 other carbon atoms. That's why it is called as quaternary carbon atom. And look at this. This carbon atom is directly attached to the 1 carbon atom. This is primary. This carbon atom directly attached to the 1 carbon. This is primary. This carbon atom directly attached to the 1 carbon. This is primary. This carbon atom directly attached to the 1 carbon atom, that is primary. These are the different types of carbon atoms. Remember, whenever you are writing structures of the carbon atom, definitely you might be concentrating on this particular aspect. Valency of carbon is 4, always. A carbon will be directly attached to the 4 other, yes, it is groups through covalent bonds. Valency of oxygen is 2, valency of hydrogen is 1. Valency of nitrogen is 3. Valency of halogens will be 1. These important aspects that you have to remember whenever you are writing the structures of the organic compounds. Valency of carbon is 4. Oxygen is 2. Hydrogen is 1. Nitrogen is 3. Halogens will be 1, of course. As far as halogens are concerned, we have fluorine group, we have chloro group, we have bromo group, and of course we have iodo group. These are all coming under halogens. Look at this. Different types of carbon atoms will find. This is primary. Why it is so? Because this is a carbon directly attached to the 1 carbon or no carbon, and that is called as primary carbon atom. This is tertiary carbon atom, 3-degree carbon atom, because it is directly attached to the 3 other carbon atoms. This is secondary carbon atom because it is directly attached to the 2 other carbon atoms. And it is quaternary carbon atom because it is directly attached to the 4 other carbon atoms. And that is what we call quaternary carbon atom. And it is primary carbon atom. This is primary, and it is also primary because they are attached to the 1 carbon atom. So that is what we call it as types of carbon atoms. You should be in a position to identify different types of carbon atoms, in a given molecule of organic compound, because that is very essential for the classification of organic compound. That is very essential for the classification of organic compounds then. And of course, in the same manner, it is very essential for you to maintain this. Carbon valency is 4, oxygen is 2, hydrogen is 1, nitrogen is 3, and of course halogens will be 1. Means valency 4 means carbon can be attached to the 4 other groups through single bonds. Oxygen can form 2 single bonds. Hydrogen can form 1 bond. Nitrogen can form 3 single bonds. Halogen can form 1 single bond. And that is what we call it as valency then. With that particular aspect, I want to give some examples for the certain organic compounds so that you can identify the different types of carbon atoms in a given organic compound. And for that purpose, I make use of this bond line representation. This is bond line representation. This is 1 carbon, this is another carbon, this is another carbon, this is 1 more carbon, and this is 1 more carbon atom, right? Total is 5 carbon atoms you will find. What type of carbon atom it is? Look at this. This is primary because it is attached to the 1 carbon. What is this? This is secondary because it is attached to the 2 other. And this is what? This is secondary because it is directly attached to the 2 other carbon atoms. This is secondary because it is directly attached to the 2 other carbon atoms. And this is primary. And because we don't find tertiary carbon atoms here, we don't find quaternary carbon atoms here. And this is what we call it as identification of different types of carbon atoms. Similarly, look at this. Look at this. This is another example for the compound. Look at this. What kind? This is carbon, this is carbon, this is carbon, carbon, and of course carbon, and this is also carbon atom, right? So what is this? Primary carbon. What is this? Tertiary carbon because it is directly attached to the 3 other carbon. 1, 2, and 3. What is this? 1, 2, and 3. This is tertiary then. What is this? 1 and 2, and this secondary carbon atom. What is this? Primary. This is primary, and this is primary then. Like that, you have to identify the types of carbon atoms. Look at this. In this particular compound, look at this. Look at this. This is one organic compound where you have to identify the primary, secondary, and tertiary carbon atoms. What is this? This is primary because 1 carbon directly attached to the only 1 carbon. What is this? 1, 2, and 3. This is tertiary carbon atom. What is this? 1 and 2 directly attached to the 2 carbon, secondary. This is secondary, this is secondary, this is secondary, and this is secondary. Like that, you should be in a position to identify different types of carbon atoms. Different types of carbon atoms in a given carbon chain. That's very essential because that gives you many ideas on the classification of organic compounds that you are going to study in second PUC in different topics, right? So this is what we call it as different types of carbon atoms. Different types of carbon atoms present in given carbon chain, right? I think you got this idea, right? Okay, right. Now we'll go for the one more important basic concept, that is hybridizations in carbon atoms. Hybridizations. Hybridization of carbon in, yes, it is given carbon chain. In given carbon chain, this is hybridization of carbon atom. Hybridization refers to the mixing of different atomic orbitals with almost the same energy, and that results in the formation of new hybrid orbitals. That results in the formation of new hybrid orbitals, impure orbitals, okay, with almost the same energy, and that is what we call it as hybridization. I am going to give you the important types of hybridization that we will see in organic compounds. I don't want to generalize it for all chemical substances, and I'm going to discuss hybridization with respect to the carbon chain, with respect to the organic compounds only, right? And of course, first of all, it is sp3 hybridization, then it is sp2 hybridization, then it is sp hybridization. Look at this. And be careful whenever you are writing sp3, sp2 and sp, use only small letters. Naturally, we write like this, this is a mistake what I feel. This should not be written like this, right? sp3, sp2 and sp there. Let me refresh your mind with the sp3 hybridization. Your 1 s atomic orbital and 3 p atomic orbitals undergo mixing. That leads to the formation of 4 hybrid orbitals. That leads to the formation of 4 hybrid orbitals, right? And of course, whenever I am talking about sp3 hybridization, the bond angle will be 109 degree 28 minutes. And this is the bond angle, that is fixed bond angle for sp3 hybridization in organic compounds. Whenever there is sp3 hybridization, geometry will be, yes, it is tetrahedral. Geometry will be tetrahedral. Whenever sp3 hybridization comes in your mind, you just remember the tetrahedral geometry there. It's like prism. Tetrahedra means geometry with 4 faces. That is what we call it as tetrahedral geometry. And of course, if it is percentage of S character and percentage of P character, percentage of S character in sp3 will be, yes, it is 35%. P character will be 75%. This is very important because percentage of S character is going to decide electronegativity of a hybrid orbital. That is going to decide electronegativity of a, yes, it is a hybrid orbital there. That's why percentage of S and P character is very, very essential. How do you decide this? 25%, how it is? Out of 4, 1 is yes. That means out of 4, 1 is yes. That is 1 by 4 is yes. That is 25%. Out of 4, 3 will be P orbitals and it will be 75%. That is percentage of S character and percentage of P character. In the sp2 hybridization, there will be 3 hybrid orbitals. Whenever sp2 hybridization is there, the bond angle will be, yes, it is 120 degree. And of course, yes, it is triangular geometry. You can call it as triangular, or you can say trigonal planar. Triangular, or you can say that trigonal planar. sp2, 1 out of 3 is yes. Therefore, it will be 33.33% of, yes, it is S character. 33.33% of S character. 1 out of 3. Here it is, yes, it is 66.67% of P character. And of course, that is P character in sp2 hybridization will be 66.67%. In the case of sp hybridization, there will be 2 hybrid orbitals. Then bond angle will be 180 degree, linear geometry there. 180 degree and linear geometry. And out of 2, 1 is yes, therefore it is 50% there. 50% S character and of course 50% P character. This is something about hybridization. These things are to be remembered permanently in your mind. Whenever sp3 hybridization comes in your mind, you should have that idea. Tetrahedral, bond angle 109 degree 28 minutes, percentage of S character. Look at this, the importance of this hybridization. If I move from sp3 to sp, look at this. Percentage of S character increases, therefore electronegativity of hybrid orbitals increases. Therefore, as far as electronegativity is concerned, electronegativity of hybrid orbitals is concerned, right? Which is having highest electronegativity? Electronegativity of sp will be greater than sp2. Electronegativity of sp2 will be greater than, yes, it is sp there. This is, sp3 there. This is a variation of what we call it as electronegativity. That refers to the tendency of attracting shared pair of electron. Tendency of attracting shared pair of electron. That ability to attract a shared pair of electrons increases from, decreases from sp2 to sp3 there. So this is what we call it as hybridization. And of course, these are the basic things that you know already. But my question is, as far as organic chemistry is concerned, how do you decide hybridization of a carbon atom in a given carbon chain? How to decide hybridization of carbon atom in a given carbon chain? And that we'll see that. If I give you one that is carbon chain, Now how to decide the hybridization of that particular carbon atoms in that particular carbon chain? Look at this. This is CH3, this is CH2, CH double bond CH, look at this, and this is CH3, right? This is CH2, and this is C triple bond C, and of course this is CH3. This is one carbon chain. Look at this. Look at that carbon chain where you will find all types of carbon atoms. All types of carbon to carbon bonds there. Carbon to carbon single bond, double bond, single bond, triple bond, like that, right? And as far as this carbon atom is concerned, look at this carbon atom. This carbon atom is attached to this carbon atom or hydrogen atom through single bonds only. Therefore, it is sp3 hybridized. This carbon atom directly attached to the two carbon atoms and of course through single bonds only. And therefore, it is sp3 hybridized. Look at this carbon atom. That is very important. Look at this carbon atom attached to the single bond. When this carbon by single bond, this carbon by double bond, right? If you find the carbon atom, it will be attached to the other carbon atom by double bond. It will be sp2 hybridization, and it is sp2 hybridized. Similarly, this will be sp2 hybridized. And what is this? This will be sp3 hybridized, because it is attached to other carbon atoms only single bonds there, right? Now what about this? This carbon atom is directly attached to the other carbon atom by triple bond. Here we have single bond, no dot, but it is triple bond is there. Therefore, it is sp. And it will be what we call it as sp. And it will be, what is that? sp3 there. This is how you have to identify the types of the hybridization for a particular carbon atom. Look at this, on the basis of whether the carbon atom will be attached by single bonds or double bonds or triple bonds. If there are only single bonds, then it is sp3. If there is one double bond, it will be sp2. If there is one triple bond, it will be, yes, it is sp there. But for that particular generalization, here we have one exception. That you have to keep it in mind. Look at this. This is CH3. This is CH2. This is CH double bond C. Double bond CH2. CH. And it will be CH3. Look at this. This is one example. Look at this. And you have to observe here double bonds successively there. Okay, na? So as usual, this is sp3 there. This is sp3. What is this? Definitely sp2, because it is attached to the one double bond. But look at this carbon atom. This is sp hybridized, because it is attached to the two double bonds there. And it will be attached to the one double bond. This is sp2 hybridized, and it will be sp3 hybridized. And this is very important for us, where this carbon atom is attached to the two double bonds successively. If you find two successive double bonds, that carbon atom will be attached, will be hybridized through sp hybridization. Confusion ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಡಬಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಇದ್ರೆ sp2 ಅಂತೀರಾ, ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಡಬಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಇದ್ರೆ sp2 sp ಅಂತೀರಾ, ಹೇಗೆ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇದೆ. ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 4 ಫಿಂಗರ್ ರೂಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಈ 4 ಫಿಂಗರ್ ರೂಲ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಚೈನ್ ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಚೈನ್. ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಬಲ್ ಟು ದಿ ಅದರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದೇ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಈಗ. ಓಪನ್ 4 ಫಿಂಗರ್ಸ್. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ 4 is a valency of carbon. 4 is a valency of carbon, right? ಈ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಇನ್ ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡೈಸೇಷನ್ ಬೇಕು ನನಗೆ. ಓಪನ್ 4 ಫಿಂಗರ್, ರೈಟ್? Then how many pi bonds are there for it? Is there any pi bonds? No. It will not be having any pi bonds. Therefore, you just open 4 and 4 corresponds to sp3. Is there any pi bonds for this? No. 4 as it is. sp3. Look at this. This carbon is having one pi bond, right? This carbon is having one pi bond. Now, if you want to decide hybridization of this, open 4 fingers. Number of pi bonds will be 1. Close 1 then, because we have one pi bond for this. And you left with what? 3. Hagadre 3 corresponds to sp2. Look at this carbon. This carbon, open 4 finger. How many pi bonds for this? How many pi bonds for this? 2 bonds. Then close 2 fingers. If I close 2 fingers, you left with what? 2. Therefore, 2 corresponds to sp. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 4 fingers ಇದ್ದಾಗ how many number of how many fingers should close? That number of fingers closed should be equal to the number of pi bonds. For this 2 pi bonds and close 2 fingers here, you left with 2 fingers and 2 corresponds to SP. And this is for this 4 fingers open ಮಾಡಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು pi bond ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ you left with 3 corresponds to sp2. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ you can apply even for this. Look at this carbon, triple bond is there, open 4 fingers. How many pi bonds for this? In a triple bond, how many pi bonds we have? 2 pi bonds we have. So you left with what? 2 means what? sp. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ triple bond ಇದೆ. How many pi bonds are there? 2 pi bonds. You left with 2 and it is sp. Look at this carbon. For this carbon, how many pi bonds are there? 1. Close 1 finger and it will be sp2 hybridization. Like that, you can decide hybridization of carbon atom on the basis of, yes, it is 4 finger rule. ನನಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗ ಸಕ್ಸೆಸಿವ್ ಡಬಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಆಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕೇರ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ such type of questions you can expect in the competitive exams. You may not be expected in yes, it is regular exams, that board exams, but in competitive exams you are supposed to decide the state of hybridization on the basis of double bonds and triple bonds. And this is what we call it as the hybridization in carbon chain, and of course identification of hybridization of carbon atom in a given carbon chain, and that is what we call it as one more important yes, it is discussion there, right? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ I discussed something about definition of organic chemistry, types of carbon atoms in a given carbon chain, and hybridization of carbon atom in given carbon chain, right? And now at this moment I'll come to the one important aspect, that is alkyl groups. This is another important discussion because most of the students they don't concentrate on these particular aspects. Alkyl groups, generally we write alkyl groups we represent by the yes, it is letter R, that is alkyl groups anta ಕರೀತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನು. R represents alkyl group. So what is this alkyl group? Look at this. Alkanes, right? Cn H2n plus 2, this is general formula of alkanes. And this alkyl group can be obtained by removing one hydrogen atom from alkane. ಈ alkane ಇಂದ ಒಂದು hydrogen remove ಮಾಡಿ, then you left with, yes, it is Cn H2n plus 1. This is alkyl group. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಅನ್ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಡ್ ವೇಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ there is the unsatisfied valency. This is alkane and this is alkyl group, and this is alkyl group, right? We represent it as R. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, ಸುಮಾರು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ we use R ಅಂತ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. R represents alkyl group. Varieties of alkyl groups we come across. Varieties of alkyl groups ಇದೆ. So for example, ಈಗ ನಾನು n equals 1 ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ ಈಗ, ಓಕೆನಾ? which is alkane you got there? CH4 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, right? ಓಕೆನಾ? ಇದರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ತೆಗಿತೀನಿ, right? Then you left with what is that? CH3 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. This is one of the alkyl groups. Remember, if I write like this, CH3 ಅಂದ್ರೆ wrong ಇದು, because one of the valencies will not be satisfied. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ this is unsatisfied valency. This is CH3. This is what we call it as methyl group. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೇರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನು ಬರೆಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಜನ, ಓಕೆನಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಗಮನಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಆಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು CH ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ CH3 ಇದನ್ನ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಬರೆಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ವಾಟ್? ಅನ್ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, n equals 2 ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ, then it will be C2H6. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಅನ್ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ಮೇಲೆ, ರೈಟ್, ಒಂದು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಈಗ ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? C2H5. So we call it as ethyl group. C2H5 ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ethyl group ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, C2H5 can also be written like this. C single bond C, ಎರಡು ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಆಟಮ್ ಇದೆ ತಾನೆ? Yes. So ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ out of 5, how many hydrogens I can connect here? CH3, right? How many hydrogens I can connect here? CH2. This is also the representation of C2H5. C2H5 anna CH3 single bond CH2 and it is unsatisfied valency and it is C2H5 with unsatisfied valency. ಈಗೂ ಬರೀಬಹುದ್ರಿ CH3 single bond CH2 single bond. ಅವ್ರು ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀತೀನಿ ನಾನು CH2 ಗ್ರೂಪ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಈ CH3 ಏನಿದೆಲ್ಲ C2H6 ಒಂದು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ತೆಗೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದಿರ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದು CH2 ಒಂದು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫೈಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿ ಇದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಈಥೈಲ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಂತ